Hello, we're going to do some more Scriddle. Let's go and have a look at scriddle.net. Okay. Scriddle, as ever, it's a puzzle where we don't know the rules. What wasn't super clear to me before, I knew that I knew that the puzzles were created, the styles of the puzzles were invented by other people, and there are links to those. I didn't realize that the specific puzzles are also invented by or authored by various people. So I think the links to the because it talks about the rule set, and then it's a bit confusing. We'll go and have a look at a look at the authorship after we solve the puzzle, just to be make sure that is clear. But I also don't want to spoil myself with what the rules are for the puzzle, so I'll solve the puzzle first, then we'll have a look at the authorship. Right, having a look today, we see 6x6 grid. The numbers 1 through 6 all appear in it once each. We can toggle any cell. What kinds of things might we have here? I mean, it might be like that one that we had before, where every cell had to add up to had to have alright, stuff out reading it out of it of that size. One reason to suspect it's not that, though, is that the numbers are not fixed, shaded or unshaded. We can toggle the numbers. So it might be hard to make that work. So I think this would be a solution under those rules set, but we can tweak a whole bunch of things that would also be solutions like that. So this 6 would have would have all that connected to it. The 5 would have up to there, and 4. We could also just try plain not straight lines radiating out of them, but just size of areas. Is it possible? I don't think it's possible for them all to be in a rectangle of their size, because the 5 is too constraining to make a rectangle. It doesn't touch other ones. We couldn't do that because it would touch the 4, and we couldn't go up because it touched the 6, and otherwise can't make a rectangle. But we can certainly shade it. That would be a way of doing this, but I don't know if it's unique. I don't think it is unique, because we could do things like move the 5 over there, move the 4 down here. Is there another goal that we could be trying to achieve while we're doing this? We can't avoid them touching diagonally. Maybe we have to have them all touch diagonally. But again, that doesn't help us distinguish those two, so it's probably not that. Unless there's another constraint that we can think of that pins us down to just one solution. Let's do this for our first guess. What's the worst it can do? Breaks the red rule and the orange rule, and I can't hear any audio. Why can't I hear audio? It's probably coming out the wrong thing. I think it's fine. I think you should be able to hear the audio. So the red rule doesn't like these two, but maybe it is rectangles. Could be rectangles, but how would we? And the orange rule. Orange rule looks like an inverse thing. It looks like the white spaces can't be rectangles. We're still... But yeah, we already said the 5 can't be... Oh, could 5 be part of a white rectangle? Maybe. Or white non-rectangle, so it doesn't like white... Yeah, maybe it's that. What would that look like? So we think the black ones have to be rectangles and the white ones have to not be rectangles. But I'm suspecting that maybe a number is allowed to be in a white area or a black area as long as it's of the right size. So if the 5 were in... What would it mean if the... So if the 5 is in a white area, it would need to be in a... Like, what we could do something like that for the 5, but we need to make sure that our... But this is breaking the 3 here, and if we do that, then our 5 gets connected to things we don't want it to be connected to. Yeah, I'm speculating a lot of rules here. Oh, and that would also break the rule about the... So we think the... Can we confirm any of these speculated rules, or think a bit more about what they would actually require to be true? So I think there is a rule that every shape must be in a region the size of that shape, and I think there's a rule that every shaded region must be rectangular and every unshaded region must be non-rectangular. So what do we know for if we take those as our set of rules? What do we know for sure, and is it possible to find any consistent solution? So if that were true, the 1 couldn't be white because it would be in a rectangle and we can't have a white rectangle. So it has to be shaded. So that means that these 3 cannot be shaded, otherwise they would make the 1 too big, right? The 2 here could not be... The 2 here must be shaded, because if it's unshaded then it makes it a region of 3 or more. So one of these 2 must be shaded. What else can we say here? This one can't be shaded because then this would be rectangular. And this one can't be shaded again because that would make that rectangular. So that means that the 2 has to extend to here. And all of these have to be not shaded. We might immediately steer ourselves into a contradiction here. That's fine. That proves that will exclude a possible rule set. So is it possible for this 6 to be part of... Is it possible for this 6 to be unshaded? So first of all, we can't have this. We can't connect the 6 to this unshaded part because that would make an area of 7. So if it is unshaded, it would have to be part of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 5, 6, or 5, 6. It's have to be one of those. This one, I think, makes the 5 impossible. Because the 5 would have to be shaded and it would have to be like... Oh, no, not necessarily... Oh, no, yeah, the 5... Oops, sorry. So we're saying this one is not possible because it would mean the 5 would have to be shaded, and this would have to be shaded. Yeah, it would that just wouldn't work. In fact, for any of these we can say, like, so if we say this is our 6, this automatically, as part of being a 6, forces all of those to be shaded. That creates a non-square black area, so that's not possible. And this was the other one that's possible. That's rectangular. That's okay. It does mean that these are all shaded, and they all have to be part of rectangles. There's no way for this 5 to be part of a rectangle here, because we can't shade that. We can't make that because it's not big enough. We can't shade that because it makes a non-rectangle. We can't shade that because it makes a non-rectangle. So I think we can indeed rule out that we have that the 6 is unshaded, which is what we wanted to do in the first place. If the 6 is shaded, it has to be part of a rectangle. The only way that we can do it is that. I think we're getting ourselves to we have sent ourselves to a contradiction already. That puts the 3 in a larger area. That okay, so we can't do that either. Which of the rules have we surmised incorrectly? So which of the rules have we surmised incorrectly? So there may be no rule at all that every shape has to be in a size of its number. Or we might have misunderstood the red rule or the orange rule here. So what can we do to test as many of those things as possible? I think one of the things that we should try to test, if we can, is having things in having numbers unshaded. See if we can like make a we could try this. What do we think? Oh, we think, what am I talking about? Right, we'll try making the 5 unshaded and do this. Something like that, and maybe the 6 as well. So that we try a. Oh no, we know that this. Let's try this as a test of that. What else? I mean, should we just do this as our test? Maybe put in some other stuff in here. There, sure. This is our test. So we broke the red rule. Okay, so that still seems to be... This is still consistent with the red rule being all shaded areas must be rectangular. The orange rule... this is consistent with what we thought for the orange rule, that no unshaded area could be rectangular. And we've broken the yellow rule. And presumably the yellow rule is that we can't have two numbers in the same area. But do we actually care about the values of the numbers? The yellow rule could be either of those things. The yellow rule could be yellow rule could just be a shape must be in an area of its own. val onum blah, blah. Unfortunately, this feels like it's just reinforcing for me my preconcept my imagined set of rules. Maybe I made a mistake? Right. If we don't shade the one, that would be an immediate fail, because in the same way that these cells here fail the orange rule. So we have to shade that. Yeah, we'll work through this again just to be sure. We do have to shade this because otherwise it would be too big. The only way to, like, we can't shade that for reasons we gave last time, so we have to unshade those. We have to make this bigger, and we have to unshade those to keep it distinct. So we reasoned before that if the six, suppose, so begin your chain of hypothesizing, if we suppose that the 6 is unshaded, oh, we never thought about this being, okay, yeah, so we, if the 6 is unshaded, we said we can't unshade that one because that makes the 6 area too big. And then we went and looked at this shape, and we went and looked at this shape, and we went and looked at this shape. We never looked at any shapes here. So maybe that's what, so maybe there is one here actually. So if we do that, what else can we say here? So we have to shade this one to keep it separate. So this 3 here, we know this can't be unshaded because it would make it too big. We know this can't be unshaded because it would make it too big. So this one must be unshaded, and we can shade in all of those. What else can we say down here? 4. What could we do? So if the 4 is shaded, I think what I'm going to say is I think we can rule out the 4 is shaded, because if the 4 is shaded, we can't shade that one, because it makes a non-square shape, and if we try and continue here, it makes it even worse. We can't go here because it definitely makes a non-square shape. We can't go another way, and that's us running out of ways to make the 4. So the 4 must be unshaded. This is all still based on the hypothesis up here, but I think I'm happy to accept that hypothesis because we ruled ourselves into contradiction when we didn't take it. If you see what I mean, I hope that makes sense. So this 4 needs to be part of. So it could be like this. It could be like this. Could even be like that, with like a shaded thing here. Oops, hold on. What did I? I don't know. I lost track of what I did there. Yeah, we know it's the 4 that we know is unshaded, but we don't know what it's connected to. Can we say anything about the 5? We know that the 5 cannot be shaded. If the 5 were shaded, then it would have to be rectangular. And if it's rectangular and it had to be 1 by 5 or 5 by 1, and it clearly can't be, it can't go across here because it would join up with that, and it can't go up here because it would join up with that and make it too big and not rectangular. So it must be unshaded. So if the 5 is unshaded, something must steer us to a single solution here. Oh, all of the all right. We know that this one can't be shaded because it's going to make a non-rectangle. That's the other powerful thing that we've got here. So it's actually, so we know this one can't be shaded. This one can't be shaded. Can we apply that logic anywhere else? Not at the moment. So this 4. So actually, hold on. This one here, we can't shade that because that would make this a square. So we must unshade that. And now we've got our 4, so we have to shade all of those. We can't shade that one because that would make this non-rectangular. So we have to put that in there, and then that gives us to be 2 more white ones in this 5. Now what can't we see? 2 more white ones in this 5, and we need 3 more white ones in this 6. So what is that? What is that? So 1, 2 there, 1, 2, 3. At least there's with 4 pieces left over in here that must all be rectangles. So this rectangle here can't extend to here because then that makes the 6 too small. At least one of the 5 and the 6 must be partitioned from each other. The 5 and 6 must be partitioned from each other, and how can we do that? Oh, I feel like we have steered ourselves into another dead end here. If this is this size, and that, does that not make the 6 too big? That does make the 6 too big. Oh, but we could do that. We could take a chunk out of the 6 at the top as well. I think that meets all of our hypothesized rules. Every black region is rectangular. Every white region is non-rectangular. Every number is in a region the size of that number. Let's try it. Nice. 3 guesses is good. 23 minutes is less good, but yeah, that's pretty good. Cool. Right, let's first of all have a look at the rules and see if they're right. There were only the 3 rules. We did understand them. Group of shaded cells must form a rectangle or square. Group of unshaded cells must not form a rectangle or square. And a number indicates the size of the shaded or unshaded group that overlaps it. I see. Right. So we also have, this was designed by Teal's Puzzles. So I think this is actually a link to the author creating this. Oh god, it's on Twitter, and I'm not signed into Twitter here. Bachelorette Teal, Choco Banana. Let's see. So they made a set of 2 of these. So that's the one that we just did. And then, oh gosh, that's an interesting one. So yeah, check out this person if you want to see who made this puzzle. Teal, transbeam puzzle aficionado. I set some complete puzzles, but spend most of my time finding unique deductions and sharing them in small puzzles and large guides. Are they active? Hasn't posted. No, they've presumably migrated somewhere better. Maybe we can find them later. Yeah. What else do I need to? So right, yeah, that is the credit for the puzzle. I think we've got like 4 or 5 days of Scriddles left, probably. Yeah, I think what I hadn't quite understood was that this is like a puzzle database, Puzzlink, and so this is drawing puzzles out of that database. I do wonder if that's why we find some of the I wonder if that also determines like the formalization of the rules and how the feedback comes for them. I don't know whether that feedback is generated by Scriddle or whether the feedback comes from like the puzzle engine. I'm not sure. But it maybe explains why some of the feedback's inconsistent from puzzle to puzzle. I don't know. But no, good stuff. Good stuff. We shall keep at it. Thank you for watching.